Joining me right now on Kumite Radio is the former Ring of Combat featherweight champ, Frank Buenafuente. What's going on, Frank?
What's going on, man? How's everything with you?
Good, good. You're gonna fight for Bellator again. How does it feel?
Oh man, it feels great to be back with them again. I like being on the big scenes. So
Yeah, I want to talk about your first appearance in the Bellator cage. You were very successful against Francis Healy. How did it feel to be in front of the big lights for the first time?
um, it felt great, man. It felt like where I should be. Growing up wrestling and stuff, being on the big stage my whole life on the wrestling aspect, stepping back in there on the big stage in the fighting world I felt at home, and that's where I want to be. So I'm glad to be back with Bellator again.
You mentioned wrestling. What are your wrestling credentials?
I'm a two-time New Jersey State Place winner, college All-American, JUCO. I've been wrestling since I was 4, traveling all over wrestling. So, that's my main background in the fighting scene.
So competition is nothing new to you then?
Oh, no, I got thousands and thousands of wrestling matches under my belt. Now trying to compare that to the fighting world.
For sure, man. Well, the most successful fighters in the world are wrestlers.
Yeah, so I got that going for me, so that's good.
Nice. When and where did you get started in mixed martial arts, though?
I stopped going to college for a while before I even wrestled in college. I got a call from Mike Masenzio, who's a former UFC fighter. He's a wrestler from New Jersey. My old high school coach was working with him, and he was like, "Hey, do you still talk to Buenafuente?" He was a tough kid. They called me up one day, and I didn't like where my life was going, and he was like, "Come down to the gym." So I went down. I knew that's where I needed to be to turn my life back around. And next thing you know, I'm training. I went back to school, wrestling, and stepping on the amateur scene, and took it right to pros.
So pretty much it kind of turned your life around.
Oh, definitely turned it around. And I was a kid going nowhere, didn't know what I was doing, what I wanted, and I knew I wanted to do something with the field that I grew up wrestling since I was 4, so then got back on the mat and fell in love and haven't left the gym since.
Since you are an up-and-coming guy, do you work? Do you have a job?
Yeah, I'm a supervisor at an environmental company. I'm doing 9 hours a day. I leave there. I go in at 6:30, 7 o'clock every morning. I leave there and head right to the gym. And I work out for a couple hours. I go for a run, and I come home, sleep, and get up and do it again. Pushing in that grind until I make it.
For sure. Well, you've had some success in Ring of Combat. You also faced current UFC featherweight Julio Arce twice. Coming out of those fights, what did you learn about yourself to help you move forward?
Don't take fights on short notice. Julio's a great guy. He's a great fighter. He's the only fighter in the last 5 years to beat me, and in our rematch, when I had some time to settle down my body and really train, because the first fight I took, they signed that fight as soon as I stepped out of defending my title, and they signed it for 4 or 5 weeks right after that, and I was on a 7-fight streak at that point, or 6-fight winning spree. Within a year and 2 months, I fought 7 times. So my body was just broken down. They gave me a little time, and everything was going according to plan on the second fight until, he caught me. He caught me with a knee, and he choked me out. I got nothing respect for that guy, and he's making us both look good. By him winning, it's helping me because none of these UFC guys touched him. Me and him were going at it. So, I'm just trying to make it up there or stay with Bellator. Whoever wants to pay, wants to sign me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, Julio has had a lot of success since he's went up to the UFC, and it does say something about you because you did go toe-to-toe with him and was pretty successful. Now, Bellator 208, your upcoming fight, you're facing James Gonzalez. He's also a Ring of Combat veteran. You guys actually fought on the same card earlier this year. Was he someone on your radar as a future opponent?
No, I don't really have anyone on my radar. I go to the gym, I work out, I train hard, and, when they give me the call who they want, I'm ready to go. It doesn't matter. As long as I don't train with you and you're not a friend of mine, if me and you trained once and you're my friend, I'm not fighting you. I have too much respect for my training partners, but if I don't know you, man, I'm ready to go. Let's put on the gloves and see who's the better man that night.
Have you seen him fight? Did you watch his fight at the last Ring of Combat?
Yeah, because I also fought Bill Algia as well. Early in my career, he gave me my first loss. I was very green in the scene and just running, trying to make something. So I wanted to see that fight, and didn't. Yeah, he did. He hung in there. He looks all right. I don't think he's on my level. I think I'm, trying to push past that. I'm trying to make it on the big scene, and he's just another stepping stone on my path to where I want to be.
Skill set versus skill set. How does he stack up against you?
I know he's a jiu-jitsu belt, black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt. I know he loves his leg locks. But my game is wrestling, and everyone knows that. And what am I going to sit here and lie to you and say I'm not a wrestler? I'm going to take him down, I'm going to smother him, and I'm going to punch him in the face. What I do to every single opponent. And if he stands in front of me, I'm going to punch him in the face there too. So is he going to hit me back, or is he going to go for my legs? Whatever it is, I think my wrestling outstacks his jiu-jitsu game. But like I said, man, whoever's on that night, I got nothing but respect for the kid because we're stepping in the cage together. But it's all that night. I might have an off night, he might have an on night, or I might have an on night and he might have an off night. Who shows up that night?
In the past, you said that you prefer to stay at your gym. You don't really go out and cross-train that much. What benefits are there to keeping a close-knit group around you?
I never worry about injuries. My teammates were there to better each other. We're not trying to hurt each other. We're not there to prove anything to each other. If I catch you and I tap you out today, you're going to catch me and tap me out tomorrow. We push each other to be the best that we could. We bring people into our camp. It's not like I just have my gym, but my gym's my main training, facility. We have a lot of guys that come in from like New York, or like Andy Main's been working out big time with me in this camp, who's also fighting on the Bellator card. So we have a bunch of other guys, and I have another high-level wrestlers that come in and work with me. A guy named Matt Ulrich, who's also an All-American college wrestler. He comes in, he'll be in my corner. We bring guys in, but my team, Carnicella, man, my jiu-jitsu team, those are the guys that are in there day in, night, So my respect is to them, and I stay in my gym, and we're going to go somewhere. It's been working.
Since you do come from a well-known jiu-jitsu gym, do you think you could go out there and submit Gonzalez, even though he is a high-level black belt?
I think I could, because my wrestling is so high level as well. Once I get my hands on you, it's a different ball game. I train with black belts all over. I'm a brown belt, so I push with nothing but black belts. So I think he gets himself in a bad position. I don't see why it's not going to go that way. I'm looking to end this fight. I'm not looking to go 3 rounds. I want to end it. I want them to sign me. I'm ready for a contract. So going out there and playing it safe like I did with Francis Healy, I respected him very much. I was coming off of 2 losses to Arce, and I needed a big win. And Francis goes the guy in the way, and I played it safe. This fight, I'm not going out there to play it safe. Just like my last fight, I didn't go out there. I need to make a name for myself right now.
Yeah, but you're right. You do sometimes have to play it smart, because you have to snap that streak just to get yourself, mentally, stable to get onto another streak, right?
Yeah. I was coming off of a 6-fight win spree, and then I lose to Arce 2 times in a row. I needed to get that win, secure it, and Bellator took me on a 2-fight loss, and I wanted that win on the big stage, show them that I can win. And I went out there, I played it a little safe, but now it's time to go out there and show them that I can make some noise too.
Yeah, you said that you're going to make some noise. What exactly do you have to prove?
I just got to prove that, I'm putting on shows. I'm not just taking guys down and laying on them for 3 rounds. Like I go out there, half of my victories are by submission. A couple knockouts, but mostly submissions, and a couple 3-round fights. But I want to show that I can get the crowd excited, get them going, just like my last fight,
You're on the same show as Fedor and Chael Sonnen, 2 of my personal favorites, to be honest with you. How does it feel to be on the card like that?
You know what? Chael Sonnen is one of my favorites too, man. He's been an idol growing up since I started watching the sport. I love what he's about. He's a wrestler. He's me. He goes out there, he trash talks, and he takes the guy down, and he punches him in the face. Just same game I have. I'm very excited to be on that card. It's going to be awesome winning on the same card as one of your idols.
Bellator 208, October 13th. James Gonzalez, Long Island, New York. It's going to be a great fight. Thank you for your time, Frank.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.